Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be back, this time with a climate expert. Right now, we have with us Priyanshi Singhal. Priyanshi Singhai, not single, Priyanshi Singhai. I'm sure others will make this mistake that I have made, so it's no surprise, but let's say it again, Priyanshi Singhai. Let's listen to her. Over to you, Priyanshi.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mathur, for giving me this opportunity and giving me this platform to share my life journey and experiences. And I want to use this platform to discuss one of the most emerging field, that is climate science or climate tech as a career option. So now everyone believes that climate change is real. It's not more a hoax anymore. So I want to use this platform to discuss like what are the solutions or what we as a community are doing to mitigate climate change. So before diving deep into this topic, I want to start with a quick round of introduction about myself, and then maybe we will delve more into it. So I'm originally from India. I'm born and brought up in a very small town in a state of Uttar Pradesh known as Lalitpur. I did my schooling there, and then for my undergraduate, I went to Delhi to pursue my bachelor's degree in civil engineering. And from there, I got a chance to enter into climate science as a master's student in Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. And when you reach Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, you automatically get interested in research. And that's how my research journey started from there. Then I pursued my PhD from the same institute. And then right now I'm a climate scientist at University of Oklahoma, and I'm working in collaboration with NOAA and National Weather Center here. So I really want to, from very early childhood, I was always curious about climate science. And being born in a very small town of Uttar Pradesh, which is a drought-prone region. So I have seen like how, and that's a very small, and that Bundelkhand region is very drought-prone region and is like experienced prolonged droughts from year to year basis. So some of my family members has agriculture business. So I've seen personally like how poor rainfall has impacted their lives drastically. And every now and then you heard the news of farmers committing suicides, farmers are in huge debt because of these poor rainfall forecasts. So I really wanted to do something that is much more related to climate science, specifically monsoons. So after pursuing my bachelor's, I got a chance to pursue a career as a climate science in Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and where my original journey has been started as a researcher in climate science. So during my master's, I mainly worked on how we can improve day-to-day weather forecast, specifically the Indian summer monsoon rainfall, how we can improve, like whether it will be a rainy day or dry day, if like so my main work was related to that. And so Indian meteorological department, so we make these forecasts. So I will be trying to use very simple terms so that it will be understood by a larger audience. So Indian meteorological department or all these weather agencies uses climate models. So it's climate models, nothing but the thousands and thousands lines of code. It's very complicated. So my work was as a master's student to understand what are the errors in the model, how these models are not able to predict day-to-day rainfall, how can we improve these model forecast. So that's how my journey has started, and that really inspired me to pursue PhD. So my PhD topics is mainly related to, so here I'm looking at day-to-day rainfall forecast. So I really want to do something on much more larger time scale. So that's how I transitioned from day-to-day to monthly forecast. So during my PhD, my work is mainly related to whether it will be a drought year or flood year. So, and I always wanted to do something that is much more application based because of my personal experiences. So during my PhD, I've also started my WhatsApp channel. So it's a group of like 400, 500 farmers from that Bundelkhand region. So I'm just giving them regular updates about the rainfall, winds, uh, wind data, rainfall data. How can they plan their agriculture practices in such a ways that will help them, uh, because that will help them to reduce these crop failures. So I've started with that, and then at the end of my PhD, I got the offer from University of Oklahoma, and then I switched my. So then I came here in US, and here I'm mainly working on understanding. So right now the AI and ML is a huge emerging field. So here my work is to use these AI ML models to understand these models focused in a better way. So right now I'm looking at US precipitation. So, but the point here is that earlier climate science is mainly seen as a research career, but right now it's not at all a research career. So earlier, the most of the funding has been related to research, and it's mainly localized to agriculture, and that's how I've started. uh Even I got my motivation from that agriculture and like farmers must pleading them, like I've seen them like how their lives is impacted, but it's not much, it's much more bigger than that. So right now, so that's what right now I'm doing. Right now I'm just right now I'm just mainly looking at how can we use this scientific knowledge to have bigger much more bigger impact. So that's how I've started mentoring some of the startups in their journeys. I'm helping them in there with their scientific insights to have their much more product market fit. And that's and so I really want to talk about, it's not mainly related to agriculture. There are so many different industries that is mainly impacted by climate science. So, and India is growing tremendously. And I've seen and so many companies are coming up, not only in India, but all across the globe. And there are many different sectors such as construction, real estates, insurance, automobiles, transportation, port operations. And I think this is the startup era. And we are really lucky to witness this era. And there are so many different startups that are coming up to mitigate these climate change related issues. So right now I'm working with one of the startup in construction sector. So it's mainly so I'm talking to one of their founders, and so they are doing really cool stuff. So they are mainly using this weather data and helping these big construction companies to better schedule their construction activities. So if it is raining, they are using this weather data to, okay, if it's raining, schedule your concrete activities after that. So if it's a hot day, then try to schedule those activities on that day if it's rainy day. So it's like most of the across, I think 45% of the construction projects got delayed. And if these projects are got delayed, it requires a huge amount of losses. So these companies are helping, this company is helping the construction businesses by using this weather data in a very different way. And this is just one of the applications. It has a huge applications in India. I think quick commerce has emerged like anything in India. It's the biggest. I think you can see we can see there's a 10 minutes delivery, 5 minutes delivery. So there's a company in India called Zomato. I don't know whether you heard of it,
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
but yeah. So they have released a very cool project called Weather Union. So they have collaborated with IIT Delhi, and what they are doing, and so they are installing weather station. So it's just like the TV antenna that we have in our old days. So they have like very small weather data, and they are hosting it in terraces. So we as a common person, so it's a first crowd-based data sourcing of weather-related data. So what they are doing is we can install these weather data at our terraces, and these are collecting a data at very local and very localized and localized scale. So whatever the IMD data is, like the resolution is very high, it's like 25 kilometers or so. But if we have India's very densely populated state, a densely populated country, so if we have a data at such a high resolution, it can be used in various different ways. So so like there are so many different applications that is coming up. So earlier, and like there are so much of money is also pumping in related to climate change related issues. Even Google and so many other companies are really interested in this space, Nvidia, Google, Microsoft. So I think it's a very uh, nice time to be in this space and to contribute to this climate revolution era. So yeah, and there's one more area that I really want to talk about. Uh, so climate science is not only about, so there are different applications. It's mainly related to renewables, energy. So that is coming up, but that still that area is missing where we can contribute more towards uh, scientific knowledge and all these stuffs. So I really want to encourage more people towards that area. So it's not only related to doing research or publish papers, it's much more to it. And every sector or every person's life is going to impact by this. So earlier, like most of the insurance companies are hugely invested in climate change related thing. But right now, like even there are so many different sectors that are emerging up, such as digital marketing, automobiles. So we can also use this opportunity, use this knowledge to have much more. Um, we can use this weather data to optimize the transportation. Yep.
Okay. Yes. So you are saying basically that we can adapt to the changing climate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are so many, yeah, I was earlier, it's mainly about theoretical knowledge. Every time IPCC releases reports, it becomes a huge headlines and everything, and then we forgot. So, but now, like, there are so many different solutions are coming up to mitigate, like, in each and every sector. So we just don't need to witness it. We can become the part of that revolution.
Right. If I can jump in here, what I'm hearing from you is that, okay, first, before that, I want to differentiate between day-to-day variations and long-term climate change. So how do you see that difference?
A day-to-day variation,
Because you are talking construction, they are day-to-day, right? And
yeah.
then the long-term, which is different. So how do you see the difference?
So we can see, in order to see the application. So if we talk about in terms of industries or in terms of industry, like they need results on a very frequent basis. So that's why most of the industries are focusing on shorter time scales, such as daily basis. So if we want to see the bigger impacts, insurance are the main sectors that are looking at larger scales. So the company that I'm talking about is ClimateX, it's Google backed company. So
Yeah.
they are mainly providing the asset-based climate risk solution to insurance companies. So if you bought a house, it's a London, UK-based company. So if you bought a house there, so they are mainly talking about, okay, if you are buying a property here, so it's the so they are quantifying the risk associated with that property. So it's mainly like 50% chances mainly associated with landslides, risk, subsidence, flooding. So that's a long-term solution. So that's mainly related to insurance based, but on to show the output of these, like to show the results in terms of output, we need to adopt mainly on the daily basis.
Mm. But what you're talking about is also giving farmers day-to-day information. And that is really, I would call it better weather forecasting, right?
Yep.
It's better weather forecasting and dissemination on the spot.
Yeah.
And
And
I've heard that in ag tech, they talk about these things, how to actually provide information to farmers so that their crop is better. And that's very, very
yeah,
short run. This is what you can do today. This is what
yeah,
you can do tomorrow. And long run may be more important for saying, okay, this area will sink in 7 years. So we better start shifting something
yeah.
or the other. So do you see that difference, or am I just saying it?
No, we can see that difference. Like we can like every now and then, like climate change is happening in every part of the world. So even we can so flood like fresh flooding, even like cities in Rajasthan getting flooded. So it's not like it's not like for tomorrow. It's like it's happening in present.
Okay.
And as you were mentioning about this agriculture related to that, even I've seen the impact personally. So I have formed a WhatsApp group of I'm just providing weather data. So it's a group of 400, 500 farmers. I did it for 4, 5 years. And so it's really helped them. Like it's really empowering to see the messages after like okay see this year because of your data. So whenever there's a huge wind warmings or there's a hailstorm, so I generally provide. So IMD also releases the data, so but it's really hard for them to look at their weather maps to understand okay whether there's a like a hail warning or something like that. It's really hard for them. So a better easy solution is to just tell them okay the wind gonna be really high, so you need to harvest it before that, or so you need to plan your activities before that. And once I, I did it for 4, 5 years, and then I realized okay, by looking at their messages of like they are really really grateful for that. So I think we need much. So I like then I made so after forming that group, I was thinking to have much more sophisticated application. So I was working on that. So can we have much more sophisticated application so that they can use it on daily basis? They don't need to wait for my updates. So, and it's really changing the lives of so many people.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that you essentially personalize the weather forecast for production. Okay, they are producing agricultural product, and you have personalized
Yeah.
the general data. The general information is already
Yes.
available. You are not
Yeah.
creating it. You are
Yeah.
just capturing it and tailoring it for these farmers who are growing this crop in this
Yeah.
region. What should you do? Okay.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Because running these models, it requires huge computational cost, and
Yes,
that's
of
not
course.
possible. And
Yeah.
so I think that's the best way to, because all these data and all these information is right out there. You
Yeah.
just need to simplify it so much like these common people can understand.
Okay. All right. That's a very good activity, I think. It needs to be sustained, in a more, what should I say, with a better financial basis than you sitting and spending your time putting it up. WhatsApp
Yes,
is cheap, so
yes.
that's not an issue.
Yes, yes. And that I've started like at around 2016 or 2017 during my early years in PhD. So as a first year, second year. So I don't know much application or how can we make a sophisticated tool out of it. So right now I'm in a stage I can just talking to some of the like software developers so that we can have a very small, very simple application so that they can just get the basic information, whatever they need.
Yeah.
So
So the app would take the data itself rather
yeah,
than you
yeah,
become
yeah,
the aggregator.
yeah,
The app becomes the aggregator. The app is the channel, right? It just reads
yeah,
the data and summarizes it, okay, and gives it in plain language, as I understand.
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Any tips you have for young people?
And the only tip I have, like in India, like we don't have in India or even all around the globe, we don't have climate science as a proper, especially in India, we don't have a climate science as a undergraduate subject. So even during my bachelor's, I don't know like okay, climate science is a special field. So I got the interview from the ISC. Then only I came to know okay, this field is really existing and we have a proper degree. So just follow your passion, and just now you don't need to uh, take specific courses to learn all these things. Now everything is available on internet. You can just go around and just follow your passion. So if you're really interested in climate science, and it's not localized only to research, so now we are in the world like where we can see the real-time application of the research that we are doing for so many years. So it's not only, so doing a PhD or doing a research is not only the limited options. There are multiple options you can do as a climate scientist. So if you're really interested or really passionate about climate science or climate change, just wake up and do something. There are numerous things we can do on a personal level to mitigate this climate change.
Okay, what about your own future? Any thoughts?
So I really want to do something related to application-based side of it. So I'm into research, I'm a scientist, but I really want to see how I can use my scientific knowledge to have much more bigger impact.
Okay.
So I am really interested in looking at applications, or how can we use this machine learning? So right now there's an AI boom. How can we use this to better forecast? Like these climate models takes huge computational cost, and it's not for the common people to run. It can be run at some institution, like prestigious institutions which have supercomputers. But this AI ML models are changing everything. So how can we use this science to have much more bigger implications? So that's my entire aim for the next
Okay,
few.
that's a vision, but in practical terms, uh, what does it mean? Like academic think tank, what does it mean?
So I really want to combine academic and industrial. I want to do in combination with both. So right now I'm a scientist, but I'm working with the climate startups. I'm advising them with the uh, whatever the scientific information they need. So I really want to combine both the worlds and connect. Like, so right now these worlds are really distinct, academic and industry. So I really want to do something we can combine, and we can do something related to it.
Okay, fine. All right. Anything else you want to tell us?
I think that's it. But like, if you're really interested or really want to do something related to climate science or climate change, please contact me. We can explore different options. And it's an interdisciplinary field, so you don't need to have a proper degree to do it. So people from different backgrounds can also come together to solve this problem. So we don't need to solve entire thing. We can just need to do a small bit to contribute to this climate revolution. So please contact me if you're really interested in something related to it, and we can think how can we move forward in that direction.
Okay, all right, good. Let's end it here today. Thank you so much, Priyanshi. It was great to listen to a climate scientist. Not that I don't get such a chance often to listen to climate scientists. I'm very interested in what they have to say, because we all know that this is going to affect all of us, and it's already affecting many of us. It's going to affect all of us. I hope you're successful in merging the two together. Let's end it here today and say bye to the viewers. I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. Bye till then. Bye, everybody.